Hello everyone and happy Sunday. I'm here to give you a quick remote. This is one of those remotes where I think, man, this is going to be really heavy. This is going to be complicated. People are going to unsubscribe. I'm probably going to piss, you know what, if I get the remote, then I have to deliver the remote. So here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is Trump. I was meditating on Trump, and I was asking myself, why Trump? Like, why did this happen? How did this happen? And the answer I got back, my higher self, is that Trump is a symptom. He is not the disease. So Trump is the symptom. He is not the disease. He is the tip of the iceberg. And when we dig deeper, we find that there's actually quite an extensive iceberg. Trump is a symptom of greed in DC that has gotten to the point where we are on the brink of collapse as a country because of the fact that the greed has gone unchecked for so long. He's a symptom of super PACs, dark money, and everything that became horrible about DC. So DC became a place where sociopaths, malignant narcissists, and psychopaths went in order to have their personal needs met, making contracts and deals with companies, taking money under the table. And that was money that should have gone towards infrastructure. And in order to cover up the fact that they basically bankrupted the country and took all the money for themselves and their friends, they kept telling Americans that they were the richest country on earth. You're the richest country on earth. This massive gaslighting, while we watched trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And anybody who's had first grade math knows that if you're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, you're not the richest nation on earth. You're probably one of the poorest nations on earth. So we're bankrupted. We are not the richest nation by any stretch of the imagination. And we've got people of color in Michigan and now New Jersey who can't even drink, that don't even have clean drinking water. Just like in the third world, people are drinking water in Jersey and their kids are getting lead in the drinking water. So when you meditate on that, like how the infrastructure has been collapsing for years, our bridges and dams have been collapsing for years because all the money that was supposed to go to you, you're working hard, I'm working hard, all that money that was supposed to go to us and our schools, which now no longer, did you notice that the books went away? The broken books in Oklahoma, or the absence of books in these states, because criminals came and stole all your money. Criminals came and then they made it legal to steal all your money by making it legal to have super PACs, Citizens United, etc., etc. And basically they're making it legal to steal all of our money and take it all for themselves. And this goes back to this idea that I wanted to talk about, the human evolutionary theory, dog eat dog, and how when you have that kind of imbalance, it's not only abnormal psychology, it's not only a personality disorder, cluster B, but we now know that cluster B leads to extinction. That the greater lesson of Trump is that Trump is a symptom of something far worse, and that is that the sociopaths, psychopaths, and malignant narcissists have run amok. And we put our head in the sand, and we were gaslit and told that everything was great, even though our kids weren't getting educated. People were dying in the streets from gun violence. People couldn't pay their rent. People lost their homes. And all the while, we were told that everything was great, the economy was great, and we're the richest nation on earth. And there are now cracks in the seams where people are starting to see that it's all a mirage. We're bankrupted. And you're being entertained by bad television and social media so that you won't snap out of it and see the ultimate truth, which is that this whole entire country is falling apart. Because the sociopaths, the criminals, got control of our country and made it legal to do so. Going back to this from an evolutionary perspective, those human beings that survived seem to be a tribe that still exists in, I believe it's southeast, maybe the Sudan. I can go back and look it up. But it was 18 people. The DNA, we traced the DNA back for the human genome to a tribe that lived approximately 200,000 years ago in Africa. They were 18 people. And when human beings went extinct all over the world, we found one tribe that allowed human beings to survive. Humans, as a species, we almost went completely extinct 200,000 years ago. And a lot of people don't know about that. But we did, and then you have this group of people who decide to cooperate. So that is the greater issue. So the disease of sociopathy, I made a note of this, and malignant narcissism leads to something. In order to take from others, you have to create some kind of a belief system and infect it into the people in order to gain control. And that was called the slavery mentality. And I've talked a little bit about that as well, that in every church, synagogue, mosque, Hindus, Buddhist, you will find somebody at some time attempting to infect in that work victim bashing. Victim bashing and the slavery mentality. So you have somebody like Karl Marx who says that religion is the opiate of the people. But a deeper reading would be that the slavery mentality is what's ultimately destroying the planet, in the sense that psychopaths need a victim. In order to be a successful psychopath, in order to control and steal and take from other people, you have to convince them that they deserved it, either because they're born a serf, or they're born female, or LGBTQ, or a person of color. There will always be some aspect of the slavery mentality in order to keep the status quo. And we see it also in the New Age movement, which was heavily influenced by Hinduism, feudal Hinduism and feudal Buddhism, which was infected with the slavery mentality by the malignant narcissist. And unfortunately, it now regurgitates itself out into the world, and the rest of us are polluted by it. So how do we make the world a better place? By recognizing victim bashing in your own speech and victim bashing in the speech of others, and then consciously extracting it from your mind. So if you find yourself going to a reader who tells you that you deserve to be abused because in a previous lifetime you were a pirate, rest assured you're being molested. That's the slavery mentality. And as long as we convince victims of violent crime that they are not victims, we've convinced them not to file police reports, and we consequently allow the monsters to become bigger. So what's being suggested in this meditation is that if we want to avoid extinction, we must eradicate the slavery mentality from ourselves and help others by gently reminding them that that's what's going on. So I did a meditation about what a healthy society would look like as far as Mother Earth is concerned. She said she would like to expand her resources. There's nothing wrong with having children so long as you expand the resources to meet the needs of the population. At previous times, the earth was subdued, raped. They used female imagery to describe that they were going to tame her, they were going to control her, they were going to subdue her. This is how we used to describe our relationship with Mother Earth. But in the new model, free of the slavery mentality, we can look towards a more organic way, a cooperative way where everyone is equal, and we support the expansion of the world. So somebody had asked, well, what about that? Whimsy doesn't like the royals, and are all royals bad? No, it's about the structure of, if somebody is up here because they were born a Windsor, that means that you have to be down here, and they're telling you how you need to talk to them in order to meet royal protocol. You've already created a reality where if you go along with that, you are saying that you are less than they are. And it goes back to this idea in Russia where the serfs in Russia, 90% of which couldn't even feed themselves, were proud of their master because they lived vicariously through his wealth. It wasn't wealth that they had access to, it was wealth that they got to enjoy watching him spend. And that goes back to Trump's relationship with his base. They think that they get to be a part of this because they have attached themselves to somebody who has a lot of money. All right, I don't know if I'm going to post this, you know. Sometimes I take my notes and I just go with it. So forgive me if I've offended anybody, but let's talk about it. What do you all think about my meditation? Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.